Hey, hi everyone. Greetings of the day. Hope everyone is hale and hearty. So let's begin here. Thanks for everyone joining in the conference and making a presence felt in this topic for ROXIE Migration Tool. Myself, first Desai, and my colleague Sathish and Rajeev will present here to make you understand what exactly what are we doing here as a part of ROXIE Migration Tool. So let's come on the agenda first. What are we trying to discuss here? Objective. That's the foremost important understanding why we needed a ROXIE migration tool. Okay. Then the features around the ROXIE migration tool. So considering the ROXIE, we all know we have a package map linked with it. We have publishing the queries. We have database to edits format. And importantly, how the edits format output comparison will look like. Okay. And finally, the benefits of an RMT tool. So what would be the benefits after we have this tool developed? Okay, so let's move on to the objective. Why we need RMT? So when we start any migration, be it from a cloud to cloud or from bare metal to bare metal or from bare metal to cloud, the most important step is testing, right? Because when we try to understand whether the system is working well, how we will understand? It's about testing. So there is numerous of process we need to try. We need to keep on repeating the same till we get correct result. Okay, so trying out manually, doing this repeated process will definitely take some try. Will take some time, right? And it will be more of an error prone because there's always a human error to it. So as a result of this, we decided to build a ROXIE migration tool, right? So it is not specifically over one specific product. It can be used across all the product lines. It is easily scalable. It reduces the error and definitely helps in saving the revenue because it completes a task in few minutes, which might have taken more time if we do manual, keeping on the same activity again and again. And it can be moved from one domain to another, from one product to another seamlessly, because the main crux, as we discussed in the earlier segmentation, was the features, right? The package maps, the query publish, this all remains intact. It's everything same as part of a ROXIE migration. Okay, so let's move ahead. What do we mean by ROXIE migration tool and what are we doing here? ROXIE migration tool helps to copy one package map and queries from one server to another, right? It doesn't require a human effort, right? That's just like an ops used to do it. We used to copy a query from one server to another. We make a static queries. This all things is possible with the help of ROXIE migration tool. Then we convert a DB column information into an edit format, right? Why we need that? That's probably the question we should come into picture. So there are certain products, right, which needs an edit format to process via ESP. Okay, so once we have a information and a database, we need to convert into a specific fixed line format, which is an edit format, and which the tool does it automatically without any human error, right? And it completes into the format as we require. So RMT also compares this to output which is formatted from the ESP. Once we get it, we get an output from the ROXIE, and the RMT will compare two different data sets which we get it. So that's also the feature is included in migration tool. Okay. So now let's try to understand how this tool will work. Okay. So considering the features, what we were understanding, it's to give it as an exe to make it understand as how different users will use it. So it becomes difficult when we have a different users with different Windows application, with Windows system configuration. A lot of setup would be required. So what we thought, let's use the GitLab feature of CI/CD. We can use the workflows as well. Okay, so this is a seamless movement because most of the HPCC server credentials is there. We have a shell capabilities, we have Python capabilities, everything interact with the CI/CD capabilities intact. So we thought of using CI/CD feature on the part of using as a tool. Okay, so depending upon the user parameters, what will be the user parameters? Each and every pipeline will process. It will convert first, it will generate the edit format, Then whether we need to have once have an edit format generation, it will convert into output comparison, whether we need a package map deployment or a query publishing. This all things are the specific features which will be coming back to back. They are independent altogether. They are not related into a scene pipeline. Okay, so that's how we are using a CI/CD feature to implement this as a ROXIE migration tool. This is how the overall tool initial screen of a project would look like. Okay, going into the details of the features, I'll hand it over to Sathish, who will take on certain features of ROXIE migration tool.
Hi everyone, I am Sathish. Thanks for your intro. Here I am going to explain about what ESP is. Our ROXIE services is called from ESP, single entry find via the outside the world. ESP has a specific input format such as fixed length column format. This is called edit format input. Here I am going to describe about how the ESP works on. The first step is we are reading that edit format input from outside the world. The next step is we are finding that ROXIE services based on our input details. Then we are converting that edit format input into XML output, XML format. Then we are passing into that XML into corresponding ROXIE services. Finally, we are receiving that XML output from ROXIE services. Then we are converting that XML output into edit format. Then we are respond to the outside the world. This is overall ESP process flow. Um, we in our project we need to test that ESP output format output file. But the ESP input and the output format is edit format input. This is very plain test with fixed length column details. So this is very difficult to understand what is the particular field is reference. Like the particular field is reference first name or last name. This one is refer that which boolean yes or no or like that. So in our initial stage of project, we spend a lot of time to find the difference between the two output file because some of the columns not really discrepancies because uh, columns such as report time, um, report unique column identifier because both the columns are generated unique each and every uh, each and every inquiries so that we decided to automate everything with simple manner so that we are included edit format process in RMT2. In the edit format process, we have the three steps. The first step is we are downloading the edit format input file from the database. Python code going to take care of this one to download the edit format input file from the database, then store into specific location. The second step is we are going to read the particular input file. Then we are passing into two different ESP environment what we are giving in the input parameter to the GitLab CI/CD process. The final one is we are going to compare between the two results on the particular ESP environments. Then we are storing that difference into comparison folder locations. Suppose the comparison folder is empty, then the two environment is identical. Suppose there is any difference, that there is any files occur, then the other files having the difference. We have some future amended on that edit format process. One feature is we can ignore some columns. I previously explained that report time is should be differ based each and every inquiry, so that should be we want to ignore, and also we want to ignore some other columns because some other columns not required to check that one. And also we can specific what are the columns we want to going to focus on that one in the tool. Here I am going to demo video how the edit format flow is worked on. Hi everyone. This is the demo video. This is the ROXIE Migration Tool. Here I am going to run one pipeline. That is, we have three pipelines. So I am going to show the demo for edit formats process pipeline. Here we want to pass the four arguments. Service name. What this is for our demo purpose. Service environment. Which environment we are going to test? Dev or QA or CT like that. Here we are going to pass the two different environment DSP links. We want to pass these four arguments before start the pipeline. Now I'm going to run the pipeline. The next step is I'm going to show where we want to show that the particular pipeline is process argument. We want to go the job menu, then we want to go the trending. Here, now the particular pipeline is trending. The first step is we are pulling the Docker images because the Docker images having that ECL and Python related software installations. This will take 20 to 30 minutes, not much time. Now we are pulling the Docker images. Now Docker image is ready. Now we are checking the Python version. Then we are installing the records model for the Python. Once the Python model is installed, then we are going to trigger the ESP process. Yes, we are passing that argument to the ESP process Python file. The first step is we are downloading the input file from database. Yes, now ESP process is started. Now we are getting some response. We are used to the CT input file so that we are getting some response. We are getting some error input. Yes, the process is completed. Once our process is completed, we can download that information. Yes. This file contains input file and response file. Finally, we have the comparison result. This is the input file. This file is we are downloaded from database. The second one is response. These are the response. This is the demo file so that this is also demo. We are passing to 10 input file. This is the comparison. Totally 6 files are difference between the two environments. We want to check on that. That's all. Here I am going to hand over to Rajeev.
Hey, thanks, Sathish. Hi, guys, and hello to everyone. I'm Rajeev, and I'll continue with the other parts of the ROXIE migration tool, that is package map and publish query script. So let's start with package map. So what is a package map? I think Harsh has already covered that at the beginning. So what I'll go ahead and tell you is how we go about with using the package maps copy and what does the script do. So our tool facilitates the transfer package map, and this could be done simultaneously across multiple servers as well. How do we deploy it? So what actually the package map does is we should have a reference file. A reference file is nothing but an existing package map file that we already have for a specific product. Now, in our case, when we had to build this package map, we had to build it for a specific product. A specific product would have only a limited amount of files as compared to the existing one that we could see on cert or prod or anywhere else. So with the help of this, we first have to prepare a reference file that is only a set of files that are required for a specific queries. So once we have that, it's just a button click for you to get the package maps already. So you just we extract the package map file that contains the references to the most files from the on-prem. Once we deploy the package map starts copying the files, and the copying of the files, as we know, can be done simultaneously to multiple servers as well. How do we deploy it? Okay, we require one config.ini file. That's nothing but the configuration file which specifies what is the compiler path on your system from where you're going to run it, or from the system from where you are going to run it. Suppose you want to run this package map script from a server, a separate server, a Linux server altogether a different place. So you need to specify the location over there, or most of the times only an ecl.exe would do. But if it's from your local system, we could use the entire path. You need to give the target IP, the source IP here, that is the server IP from where you're going to pull the files. So if you want to pull it from cert, if you want to pull it from prod, if you want to pull it from any other CT customer test environment, so that's where you need to specify your server IP, and then your credentials, which mine is only asterisk. You can put yours. Okay, and how do we deploy it? It's nothing but just a simple click of a button. As I said, you just enter the script name, that's get package maps. Oh, sorry, I was in a haste. Okay, so what do we need to do? We need to just run the script called get package map script .sh, reference file name which I mentioned earlier, and the target folder. So this could be any folder name that you want the latest file to reside in. And why is just a flag uh, for you to say whether do you want a static query files as well. Like we know there are static files as well along with any other files, regular files which have the same name, but they are under the static files which are used for a specific purpose. So if you want the static files, you have to put in y, else you can just put in n. Once this script will take seconds to generate the package map file. Once it is done, all you need to do to execute is enter acl.exe and use this particular command to deploy the package map on any server that you want. Like in this case, we are using, let me go ahead with one each and everything. So ecl.exe, it's the compiler path where ECL is there. Add ROXIE, and then add package map file location wherever is the file location that you have entered in this target folder name. Reference the DALI IP from this is the source IP from where you want to copy the files. Your target is to which server you want to transfer your files. For example, if you're going to go to cloud, so you can give, and if it's an HTTPS, you can just enter the entire URL and enter your port number. If it's HTTPS, use -SSL. If it is not, don't use SSL. And -O and -A is nothing but overwrite and activate the file. So here, if you see in, there's a screenshot of the command prompt where you need to run this package map execution. And this is what a response you get, adding the package map file name so and so, and package map comment error 0. That means there are no errors. So that's how simple we can deploy package map. And this is very helpful when you have multiple namespaces with multiple files that you need to deploy. You need CT, you need prod, you need any other files. This will be very handy to just pick up whatever files you want and deploy them. Moving on, package map is done. Let's go to publish query. What does publish query do? Like the name suggests, it will publish the set of ROXIE queries onto the server. As simple as that, right? This enables simultaneously publishing across several servers. Similarly, you can do this on multiple servers as well. What are the steps that you need to do? You need to have a Git repo from where you're going to publish the queries. You need to update that, and for a very recent progress, we are incorporating the Git repo update within the script itself. So this statement will not be necessary. We are in the phase of testing that, and I hope that will be out soon. So once we are done with pulling the latest Git repo, we can start publishing whichever queries we want onto the target server. Okay, we can either publish it single as we want, or we can publish it in multiple at a single time. So how simple is it? I can just as you can see on the screen over here, just added the publish.bat script, and give we all we need to do is give the reference file. A reference file is nothing but, yeah, it will be the list of queries that you will want to um, deploy onto a server. So you can have 1, you can have 10, you can have 15, you can have how many ever you want, and you can publish it in that particular sequence that is added into the file. And as you see the output over here, you can see the work unit ID created for the file publish. Moving on. Oh, my mouse. Yeah. Okay. Uh, like the package map, here too we need a config file which specifies the compiler location, the target IP on which you want to publish the files, and your repo path. So where is the repo in your personal location, or if you're running it from a server, on which server is this the repo is stored. Apart from that, your username and password for the source and target. Probably it would be the same. That's it. And there we have either one, either two, or either hundreds of queries being published at the same time. And that's how simple it is, and it's very user friendly. And you could to automate it, you could just add this as a cron entry and do it whenever you need and however you require. That brings us to the benefits of the entire RMT tool. Like Harsh stated earlier, yes, it saves time because we are going to do many simultaneous things at a time, and it'll save a lot of effort if you have something automated and you don't have to worry about any fat fingering or any manual errors. Quality, yes, since this is tried and tested, we can ensure that there is very less errors while doing it, and you know that at least the process that you're doing it is correct. Performance would definitely make a difference when you have to just do at a single click. It will very much save time. So apart from this, the entirety of the ROXIE migration tool is the whole concept of this is right. It is for an error-free to have an error-free environment to work on, to be fast, to have quality work. But also the idea came in that when you are doing something when you're migrating from on-prem to cloud, or from bare metal to bare metal, anything, you just don't have to get it right the first time. You have to get it right redundantly, and this is where the ROXIE migration tool helps. So you have to do redundantly this on a daily basis. It's going to be boring if you're going to do this every day. So we have these tools to help you with it. It's faster, and it reduces the dependency on other teams. While if you have a look at the tools that we have, it's mostly spread across multiple teams, but in this case just one person with bare minimum knowledge of everything can execute this. And it really saves times in that perspective, and moreover it reduces the dependency as well. I think I have covered quite a bit that must have helped you. And I'm very happy that I got a opportunity to share this with all of you on this particular platform. So that's it, folks, from my end. I'm Rajiv, along with Harsh and Satish. Thank each one of you who have attended this session. Have a great day ahead.